العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So we stopped on chapter 59, Bab al-Adna fal-Adna min al-Jiran. So this is similar to the previous chapter. The previous chapter was Bab Yahdi ila aqrabihim baban. So here, Bab al-Adna fal-Adna. So al-Adna fal-Adna, it means the closer and the closest one and the next closest one. Al-Adna fal-Adna, the closest and the next closest. Min al-Jiran, from amongst the neighbors. So this is like who you give preferential treatment to, who has the most rights over you. If you have something to give, you know, these are the neighbors that you give it to. Alright, so حدثنا قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى حدثنا الحسين بن حريث قال حدثنا الفضل بن موسى عن الوليد ابن دينار السعدي. الوليد ابن دينار السعدي is ضعيف ضعفه ابن ماجه. عن الحسن وهو الحسن البصري أنه سئل عن الجار فقال 40 دارا أمامه و40 خلفه و40 عن يمينه و40 عن يساره. Alright, so this is a statement of Al-Hasan al-Basri, where he was asked about the neighbor, and he said 40 houses in front of you, 40 houses behind you, 40 houses to the right of you, and 40 houses to the left of you. And like we said, this is da'if. There's no dalil whatsoever that specifically specifies exactly what is considered the neighbor. And if we have an issue like this, and that means that it goes back to the urf, and goes back to the customs and the understanding of the people and what they consider a neighbor. And like I said, anyways, this is a statement of Hasan al-Basri, but it's weak. The chain is weak. It's not a statement of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, all right, the next hadith, 110. What does Shaykh al-Albani say?
Hasan al-Isnad.
That's his opinion. Allah yarhamah. حدثنا بشر بن محمد قال أخبرنا عبد الله قال أخبرنا عكرمة بن عمار. And also you got to understand too that the people, a lot of the people, especially even from the muhaddithin, they have a lot more leniency when it comes to statements of the tabi'een, statements of the atba' tabi'een. There's more leniency. So as far as the chain of narration, they have more leniency in those chains of narration than they would with the going back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So maybe that's because the weakness is not severe weakness, but it is weak. Alright, so حدثنا بشر بن محمد قال أخبرنا عبد الله هو عبد الله بن مبارك قال أخبرنا عكرمة ابن عمار قال حدثنا علقمة ابن بجالة ابن زبيرقان قال سمعت أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه قال ولا يبدأ بجاره الأقصى قبل الأدنى ولكن يبدأ بالأدنى قبل الأقصى. Alright, so here this is reported that Alqamah ibn Bajala ibn Zabarqan, he heard Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu say that you should not start with your jar al-Aqsa. What does that mean, al-Aqsa?
Like the middle?
Huh?
The middle one?
No, it's like further down, the furthest one down. قبل الأدنى, you start with the Adna, you start with the one that's closest before you start with the one that's like further down, the furthest down. ولكن يبدأ بالأدنى, so you start with the closest قبل الأقصى, before the furthest one down. So all of this goes into like, this chain of narration. Let me see. Alqamah ibn Bajala ibn Zabarqan is majhul.
Who?
Majhul. Alqamah. What does Shaykh al-Albani say?
ضعيف الإسناد. علقمة هذا مجهول لا يعرف كما قال الذهبي.
Yeah. So the chain of narration is ضعيف. So both of these hadiths, the first one is a khaf Shaykh al-Albani called Hasan. The second one is ضعيف. But I mean, the meaning and the understanding is correct. The one that has the right over you, and we saw that yesterday from the two hadiths that we took yesterday that were authentic. So those two hadiths were authentic. That whenever you have something to give, whether it be food, whether it be gift, or whatever, you always give the preferential treatment to the neighbor whose door is closest to your door. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, based on what you have. All right, we'll take one more hadith, right? Chapter 60. Babu man aghlaq al-bab ala jar. All right, so this is the chapter is what whoever closes the door on his neighbor. Like, so his neighbor comes and he's asking for something. Let's say that he needs something and you just close the door on him. You don't give him anything. You don't, I mean, even if you don't have something, you still say, look, like let's say he's coming in, he wants like sugar. You just ran out of sugar. You say, I'm sorry, I just ran out of sugar. There's something else I can get for you. You try to be nice. It's your neighbor. And you don't just close the door on the guy and just say, no, we ain't got no sugar. Go away. So this is talking about the person that closes the door on his neighbor without giving the person what he's, and it's even worse. It's definitely way worse if you have the thing that he's asking for. You have the thing that he's asking for and you just close the door in his face. So long as done. Alright. So the hadith 111. حدثنا مالك بن إسماعيل قال حدثنا عبد السلام ibn Harb عن ليث. Alright, so this Layth is Ibn Abi Sulaym. Now, Layth ibn Abi Sulaym is da'if because اختلط, like his mind, he started to lose his mind in his later years. And his mind got so bad to the point that he started to call the adhan at duha. Like he was out of it to the point where he would get up on the minara and start calling the adhan to pray duha. So that's how messed up his mind got in his old age. But it doesn't affect his hadith. Why? How does that not affect his hadith? If he has gotten to the point where he calls the adhan for duha, how does that not affect his hadith? I mean, the guy basically became like Joe Biden type thing, right? And his hadith is still accepted. I mean, he's da'if, but not because of this though.
He accepted hadith from a long time ago?
No, because when he started to lose his mind, his children and the people around him took his books away from him and didn't let him teach anymore. So he would just come to the masjid, pray, but they wouldn't let him teach. They said no.
Wasn't that his daughter that did that?
I can't remember which one. You gotta go back and double check on it, but
it was his daughter.
Yeah, they took the books away from him and said, nope, you're not teaching no more. So that's the reason why, like that itself does not affect his hadith because of that. But if that did happen, like for example, this has happened amongst the ulama from before, and he started to lose his mind in his older age, started to go like senile, but he continued teaching. Then you look at the students, that took hadith before he went, started to lose his mind, and you look at the students who started to take hadith from him in his later years. And you take only from the students who took from him in his good years, not in his later years. So I mean, there's still that doesn't mean that the person's hadith is just rejected outright. Alright. So عن ليث عن نافع عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال لقد أتى علينا زمان أو قال حين وما أحدنا حق بديناره ودرهمه من أخيه المسلم ثم الآن الدينار والدرهم أحب إلى أحدنا من أخيه المسلم. سبحان الله. والله ما أصدق الكلام في أيامنا هذا. سبحان الله. سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول كم من جار متعلق بجاره يوم القيامة يقول يا رب هذا أغلق بابه دوني فمنع معروفه. So Ibn Umar, he reported, it was reported that Nafi and Ibn Umar said, a time, a time passed, a time has gone by, from a time that was past. He said that nobody had more right to a person's dinar or dirham. All right, his money, his wealth. Nobody had more right to his wealth than what? Than his Muslim brother. If he had any type of money or any type of wealth or any food or anything, he would see that his Muslim brother had more right to it than himself. This was the time he's talking about. Obviously, this is the time in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "Thum al-an." He said, but now, now we live in a time where the dinar and the dirham, where the person's wealth, his money, is more beloved to him than his Muslim brother. So now he puts the wealth, he puts more importance in his wealth than he does in his Muslim brother. And look at this. This is in the time of Ibn Umar. SubhanAllah. Like what are we living in now? What?
It goes even to family. Like the father would be like, all right, why should I care about you if you have no money? Tells the son that.
No, right now, wallahi, I think a cheeseburger is more beloved to a person than his Muslim brother. So I mean, imagine this was in his time where it was like wealth, gold and silver. Now, come on, man, and like, people ain't got no gold and silver. They're putting everything over the rights of the Muslims, over his brother. He said, I heard the Prophet ﷺ say, "Come min jarin." How many neighbors? How many of the people neighbors? Muta'alliqun bi jarihi. Yawm al-Qiyamah. He's going to be connected to his neighbor on the Day of Judgment, and he'll be saying, "Ya Rabb, oh my Lord, hada aghlaqa babahu duni." This guy, he shut the door on me. He closed the door on me. فَمَنَعَ مَعْرُوفَهُ, and he didn't give me what I was asking. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about this in the Quran. What is it? وَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ.
الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون
ويمنعون الماعون. The ma'un is all the ma'ruf, all the just the basic things that a person would ask. If they came to your house, your neighbors, and you forbid them from this. So this is, you don't give it to them. So no doubt that's from the kaba'ir of the Nub. This hadith is Hasan bishawahid. Alright, so what does Shaykh al-Albani say?
Hasan li'ayeh, and then he said, ليس في شيء من الكتب الستة.
Yeah, but it's Hasan. And it's got shawahid. So no doubt. I mean, that's the person who prevents the people from the ma'un. So, any questions?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna do al-aham fal-aham. You're gonna like this one. I was about to say something, but I didn't want to interrupt you when you were talking. That's why. It said, "Assalamu alaikum, Ustad."
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody. Hello. Everybody that enters the chat is Muslim.
I know fade haircuts are disliked. How about trimming the sides with one height?
They're not disliked. That's the madhab of the al-Hanabila that says that it's makruh. But the hadith is like naha. Naha, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, naha. That's a nahi. That's a tahrim. It's haram. So fade haircuts are not permissible. That if you go to like the books of Ibn Qudama and the different Hanabila, and I'm pretty sure it's not just the Hanabila, but I mean I'm just based off the books that I've read. They're the ones that say it's makruh. But there's nothing in that hadith to show that it's nahi. It's a nahi. So the nahi is haram. It shows that it's prohibition. But what was the second part of the question?
How about trimming the sides with one height?
You're not talking about trimming the sides with one height.
Like I think, like right now, like my hair right now, if I just go 1 inch, the whole head, I just cut off an inch.
It's all the same side.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, cut it all or leave it all. But you can't like cut some of it and leave some of it. You have difference. You cut all the hair just one length. Take clippers, cut it all one length.
Oh, Abdul Malik is in the chat.
He's trying to stir up some problems.
No, actually, no. He's actually bringing support. He said, "Assalamu alaikum. Please like and subscribe." Then he said, no, first he said Allahu Akbar. He was the first one to comment in the chat. He said Allahu Akbar.
No more questions?
Yes. Okay. This is regarding something you said in the past, and I was here when you said it too. So, I think when you said that it is wajib to get rid of TV, is that because it can be used for haram things, or because it is haram in itself? Can you have TV only for halal things? And also, if I used to listen to music a long time ago, then is it allowed to hum the tunes to myself sometimes?
No, because you sit there. All right, well, let's get to the TV first. I mean, if you're gonna buy a TV for the sole purpose of playing Quran, playing Durus of the ulama on it, then I guess there will be no issue. That's what you're using it for. But the images, the pictures, and everything, that's what makes it haram. It's not just the TV. So the TV is just a box. It's just nothing. It's just a piece of it's plastic. It's glass. It's nothing. It's not the TV. Bidatihi is haram, but it's the surah. The images. Huh? Yeah. But then on top of that, you got all the other stuff. I mean, come on. I mean, what are you like opening up Islamic programming? I mean, so let's be serious. Let's be honest with ourselves. Who uses the TV?
Kids.
No, I'm saying who uses it. Well, I didn't finish my question. I'm saying who uses the TV for anything really beneficial? So, like I said, if you have the TV and that's all you're doing is playing the Quran on it, playing Durus on it, then khalas, there's no issues. But if it's for images and things like that, that's what makes it haram. Then on top of that, you add to the, just what comes on TV. So it's just adding haram to the haram.
If someone is talking in a dirty room and they want to say something negative about the jinns, like they're liars, if they don't want to say it in that room for fear the jinn will hear them and may harm them, and they get up and say what they want to say about them in another room, is this permissible and shirk?
What? Why do you want to go out and just yell out to the jinn that why would you want?
That's shirk. To just say.
No, I'm saying it's not shirk because he's not calling on them. What I'm saying is why would you want to bring unnecessary problems to yourself? It's like, all right, could you imagine one of the strongest gangs in the city, and you say, well, should I get out on YouTube and just curse them all on social media? I mean, why would you want to bring unnecessary just problems to you? What's the benefit of doing what you're talking about? And then you think the jinn is going to leave you alone? And then if you're not a person of azkar, they get revenge, man. They get revenge. People that read on them, people that do things to them, you think they just let that slide and forget it, and they live longer than you, that you can't see them, they can see you. They could follow you around and they could just wait for any time that you slip up to make your life just complete chaos. Why would you want to do that? It doesn't even make sense. Khalas.
Instead, I'm asking for someone.
Nah, man, you just stick with your azkar. You don't need to go and have arguments with the jinn and things like that, because like I said, that's I mean, if you're doing stuff like that, or the person's doing things like that, I mean, it doesn't sound like a person who reads Quran a lot. So what I'm saying is focus on reading the Quran, focus on things, dhikrullah. Stay away from that, because I'm telling you, you go around and I wouldn't put just draw unnecessary fitna on yourself. Especially with an army of beings that you can't see. And just going around just making them angry and insulting them for no reason. From amongst the jinn and Muslimun. There's Muslims, there's the people that are on khair, people that go and seek knowledge, and from amongst the jinn, not people, but jinn. So not all the jinn are like that. Those are the shayateen. But I mean, just to sit there and go around and just say that, whether you're in a dirty room or a clean room, I don't even know what the issue of the room is. I don't see what the benefit of doing that is in the first place.
If someone backbites and then I say I forgive them, when actually I don't really want to, then can I still take their good deeds on day of judgment or get recompensed?
You forgave them, you forgave them.
Can you unforgive someone if they oppressed you?
How can you unforgive somebody?
like for example, they walk up to you and they say, I backbang you. You say, alright, I forgive you. 2 weeks later, do the same thing.
I mean, if they do it again, then you get the rights for the second time that they did it, but you already forgave them for what they did in the past. You know? I mean, if you made it conditional, like if you say, I forgive you if you sincerely make tawbah, right? And then he goes back and he backbites you again, then obviously he didn't make what? Sincere tawbah. So then you get the rights for the new one and the old one. But just if you said, I just forgive you, then nah, I mean, you forgave him, khalas. I mean, that's that. But I mean, still, but if he goes back and does it again, then that's a whole different issue. You get the rights for the second one. So.
Oh, they said before that about the jinn question. Someone did that, but they were mentioning for a reason.
What's the reason?
I don't know.
I mean, what's the reason to go into a dirty room and yell out that to the jinn? I mean, honestly, with a rational mind, what's the reason behind that?
Sounds like that would lead to sihr. Sounds. He's right there. Oh, right there. Sorry. Ustad, this is from Doodle Bob. Ada Doodle Bob.
Still chicken fingers. I don't care what he changes his name to.
How do we get swole and strong like you? Knowledge, iman, and strength-wise.
You're talking to the wrong person, I think. If you think that I'm fit the description that you just said, then I deceived you more than Donald Trump, boy.
About Saif, did you say that there would be a Telegram group for Kitab al-Tawheed run by Hamza?
Yeah, but he's not doing his job.
Huh?
Oh no, because the problem is not Hamza. The problem also is that I got to remind Sajid because Sajid was going to open up the group. Sajid's traveled. He's not back in Jacksonville yet, so inshallah I have to remind him. I just spoke with him, just chatted with him today, but I haven't been talking to him these days, so give him a vacation.
So, have you seen what Sajid posts on Instagram or on YouTube? Those people would be asking him some weird questions.
Yeah, like these.
No, weirder questions.
Okay, weirder than going in a dirty room and yelling out.
Is it better for us to avoid using raw words and even in asking questions? And is this better for a person's modesty and shyness? For example,
Raw words like what?
For example, if someone is asking a question, would it be better to say what a man does with his wife instead of using the S word?
Yeah, like Hamza.
I did it on
I mean, you avoid using whatever you. I mean, in certain scenarios, the Prophet ﷺ used certain language to fit certain situations. When the guy came up to him and said that he fornicated, the Prophet ﷺ used the word. It's a very, very vulgar term. I'm not going to use it here, but I'm just saying he used it to make sure that before he ordered the punishment on the man, that the man did exactly what he said he did. So he wanted to make sure that he had full relations with the woman, not just tala'ub, he's not just playing around with her, but he actually did the whole thing. So he used the word in the Arabic language that if you said it in front of an Arab right now, they would, oh no, you just said that, No, I'm not going to say it, but I'm saying, but it's a hadith and it's authentic. But the point is that that's certain situations where that might be warranted and called for. But other than that, especially in situations where we have women, children, other people listening, to the live stream, to the lessons, so in that type of case, we try to be as modest as we can, but also to get the point across. And the most,
Said, what does he mean by quote unquote like Hamza?
Because Hamza used that word one night.
But I said it because I expected people to be mature. That's why.
No, I don't know.
There's a question about Imam al-Nawawi. You think did Imam al-Nawawi mention if whether niqab is fard? and about the awrah of free women and outside the prayer in Sharh Sahih Muslim of Imam Nawawi.
I don't have the Sharh Sahih Muslim with me. It's still in Jacksonville, so I don't know.
The chat's quiet. It's because downstairs isn't in it, and then
Well, what was the question? Did he say something about the fard or what?
No, like he's asking if Imam Nawawi mentioned if niqab is fard.
Allah mentioned it. So what I need Imam Nawawi to mention it for? You know, so Allah mentioned it in Surah Al-Ahzab. So what do you want after that? You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to the believing women, women jalabibihin. The jalabi, which is from the jilbab, which is a covering from the top of the head. They differ as far as what it covers. And some of the ulama, they say that it covers from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. And some of them say that it's a covering that goes over the top of the head and it covers the chest, and then she has another garment underneath that. But whatever the case is that it covers the whole entire head. So that's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I don't need to go, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not taking anything from Imam Nawawi, rahimahullah, but if Allah said it, then that's enough for me, that's sufficient for me.
Doodle Bob said, how to balance seeking knowledge and getting married.
Honestly, the only person that I know from Ahl Sunnah, I mean, I'm not saying that this doesn't exist, I'm just saying the only one that I know of that said that it's permissible for a woman to show her face is Shaykh al-Albani. I mean, if you could tell me somebody else, maybe Ibn Hazm, maybe. I think Ibn Hazm might add that, but Ibn Hazm is, you know, he's strong in fiqh. But I mean, he had a lot of aqidah issues, and even in his fiqh, he was on the Zahiri, you know, the madhab of the Zahiriyah. So that caused him to even make some of his ijtihad that based on just taking that one hadith and saying that this is wajib or this is haram based on that one hadith without looking at the other hadith. So I mean, he made mistakes in that bad. But Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, is the only one I know of our time from Ahl Sunnah that says that it's permissible for a woman to go out with her face uncovered. I mean, you go back and you read the tafsir of why the believing women were ordered to cover up. Khalas. And you even know, you know, the commands of of Aisha when she's talking about the women wearing hajj, and they're not allowed to wear niqab in hajj, but they used to take their lower garment and cover their faces whenever the men passed by. So it goes to show you that even without the niqab, that they still kept their faces covered. That this is from the way that they were, the believing women. But it was the jariyat, the servant girls, that they were told to uncover their faces, so that you could differentiate between the believing women and the jariyat. And like I said, that goes back to the ayah Surah Al-Ahzab. You can go back and read the tafsir of the ayah. You know, if you go back and you look at tafsir of Zad al-Nasir from Ibn al-Jawzi, he breaks it down. Ibn Kathir breaks it down. Tabari breaks it down. So alhamdulillah. So that's sufficient for me.
I feel like there's going to be this chat's going to be a war zone because downstairs entered an Abdul Malik in the chat. Why is that some people who believe that the niqab is not obligatory make it seem like that it is not obligatory in any situations with that opinion, even when fitna is widespread? It's mandatory, it's mandatory. Allah made it mandatory.
So read it again.
Why is that some people who believe the niqab is not obligatory make it seem like that it is not obligatory in any situations with that opinion, even when fitna is widespread?
I don't, you know, a person not believing it's obligatory, and he has dalil for that, even if I don't agree with it, like maybe the dalil doesn't really show that, but I'm saying, but at least the person is trying to look for, like, you know, I know that Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, and his fatwa was based on dalil that he saw that made it not wajib. Now, do we agree with him on that? No. But Shaykh al-Albani refuted him nicely. So, but the point is that, you know, we know Shaykh al-Albani, and we know that he's a person of dalil. And if he came to this conclusion, it's something that he understood from the dalil. It doesn't mean that he's going to be right all the time. All right. Like I said, I gave the example of Ibn Hazm. Ibn Hazm is also a person of dalil. But the way that he looks at the dalil causes him to make certain mistakes based on how he looks at it. Now, other individuals that we don't have that husn al-dhan with, we don't have those good thoughts with, we're not going to make those same excuses. We'll make those excuses for somebody like Shaykh al-Albani. You know, because he's Ahl Sunnah. You know, and Shaykh al-Albani has done more khidmah for this deen in his time on this earth than probably all of us. You know, all of the, students of knowledge today, if we all got together and pulled all our strength together, we could not do half of what Shaykh al-Albani did in his lifetime. You know, you look at the individuals like Shaykh al-Albani, Shaykh Muhammad ibn Adam al-Ethiopi, Shaykh Mubil, and what they did to like revigorate that love for hadith, in the people. SubhanAllah, you'd only hope that you could die with a small bit of the reward, that we hope that they died with because of all that they did in this dunya. But now with these du'ats, these liberal jokers, I wouldn't make the same excuse for them. I just think that they like looking at women. That's it, the bottom line. I mean, any type of person who's a supposed Muslim da'i enjoys having a bunch of pink hijabs sitting in front of them with their legs crossed in front of them, and oh wow, Sheikh, you're so cool, and then and he enjoys this, and he's sick. Wallah, and I honestly believe that a lot of them, that's the reason why they make it halal, and they say, and then they do, and then you got that's an issue, right? Then you got a second issue, which is, okay, you want to make it halal that a woman uncover her face. Oh, okay, tell you. You're going to answer for that on the day of judgment, right? But you don't have to make sukhriya, and you don't have to look down on the women that cover themselves, because they're the ones that are trying to follow the path of taqwa. They're looking at, okay, we have two opinions. These ulama, which are the vast majority, very, very vast majority, say that a woman should be completely covered, her face and everything, when she goes out amongst the people. And then you got a small minority of shuyukh that say, no, it's okay for her to uncover this or uncover her face and her hands and her feet. What? Okay, say. Now, does that mean now, if you look at the opinion, so if the woman is looking at like, okay, there's a ikhtilaf, even though it's a very unbalanced ikhtilaf, but there's ikhtilaf, right? And maybe the majority, even though there's few ulama that go to this opinion, but there's the majority of the people that go to it because they're sick, their hearts are sick. So they're looking for what? The ease. They're looking just to go with the easy. They're not looking for this, but she's going to choose the path of taqwa. And she's going to cover up because she knows, like, look, if I have these two opinions, what's the safest opinion? The safest opinion is like, if I go out of my house, I'm going to be completely covered and no man is going to see me. That's the stronger. That's taqwa. So for people to take a girl who takes that and makes that decision and make fun of her or look down on her or call her names, this is from the traits of the munafiqeen, so subhanAllah, like this type of behavior has no place amongst the Muslims. Because a person chose a different opinion than you, then I mean, what type of craziness is this now that you make fun of them? The same thing, like for example, we see the beard as being wajib. We have dalil for that. But these, female estrogen-filled so-called du'ats, these sick-hearted dudes, they want to make up stuff to say that it's not wajib, it's just sunnah. And where did they get that dalil from? Well, like, where did they get the evidence from? But now, okay, tell you don't want to grow your beard because you want to look like a girl. You want to act like a girl. You want to hang around with the girls and all the pink hijabs and the flower child children. Okay, you want to be like that. I tell you, that's your sickness. You go over there with your sickness. But why do you have to look down on the people that want to follow the sunnah, that want to practice what's wajib? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to call them names? Why do you have to laugh at them? Why do you look at these mutashaddidun? Oh, look at these terrorists. Look at this because he has a beard. But you won't go up to a dude on a Harley Davidson full of tattoos with a beard down to here and go say the same thing to him. Why won't you say the same thing to him? Why don't you call him a terrorist? Why don't you laugh at him? Because you've got too much estrogen and you know you won't do that. So that's the one thing about these types of issues is, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's on you on the day of judgment. And if you calling the people to it, that's double on you, because now you're going to get the sin of you doing it, and then you're going to get the sin of everybody that follows you in that. But keep your mouth shut about the Muslims that follow it. that want to follow the sunnah. Keep your mouth shut, because you don't want to add that sin to your scale on the day of judgment. You know, you calling the people to the dalala is one thing. Them following you is another thing. That's enough sins for you. You don't want to add to it, laughing and joking and making sukhriya and istihza with the believers. So keep your mouth shut about the believers. You know, we're going to do what we're going to do. You're going to do what you're going to do. And we're going to see who's successful. We're going to see who's successful. You know, Allah musta'an.
Downstairs said period.
Again.
Someone said, didn't Sheikh Muqbil promote Ibn Hazm?
Yeah, like how promoted him? Ibn Hazm is an imam, and we benefit from his works. We take the good, the things that he got right, we take it. And Ibn Hazm was very, very good at convincing. You know, he was dangerous. In fact, Sheikh Muqbil rahimahullah, from what I remember the brothers telling me, and he was telling them, he was warning the brothers about, you have to be careful when you read Ibn Hazm. Because even if you don't like his opinion and you don't agree with it, he'll convince you. He has that ability of, but he brings adillah, but he'll convince you. So, and he'll completely change you. So he said you have to be careful when you read Ibn Hazm. You know, like Ibn Hazm is not for like the beginners. That's like, you know, a guy who just studied like Umdat al-Ahkam and goes and picks up al-Muhalla. And that's why, you know, when I see like, you know, online, these people like Daniel and all these other guys quoting Ibn Hazm from al-Muhalla, come on, man, you know you never read this book in your life. Stop joking, man. Because I mean, one, the book is like this big. It's like, what, 12 volumes? I mean, there's different volumes, but I think it's like 12. Some of them, they have like 2 in 1, so it's like 6 or 7 volumes. So it's a huge book. And it's not a book that's just like a, you know, it's not Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a book you're just going to pick up and just read in 2 days. You know, it's a book. It's going to take a lot of thinking. But he was very, very strong and convincing in the way that he argued. So he made mistakes. Shinqiti, rahimahullah, refuted him. So I mean, you know, it's like not refuted him for everything, but refuted him for certain ideas that he had in regard to majaz.
Majaz?
Yeah.
Can you explain what?
Figurative speech.
Oh.
Basically, there's no figurative speech in the Quran or in the Sunnah. There is in poetry, so that's what. See, Ibn Hazm's opinion was that there's no majaz in the Arabic language. Shinqiti was like, no, there's no majaz in the Quran and the Sunnah, but there is majaz in the poetry and things like that. So that was the difference of the opinion, you know. But yeah, so. But even Ibn al-Qayyim, the same opinion. If you read I'lam al-Muwaqqi'in, he has a whole section about, you know.
Someone said, why do some Salafi du'at say it's Jumhur ulama say that niqab is sunnah, not wajib?
That's based on the madhahib, akhi.
Not even Hanbali. The Hanbali madhab, the Maliki. I know Imam Malik.
The only person that used to use that word Jumhur a lot. I mean, in his book is Ibn Rushd, Bidayat al-Mujtahid. And when he talks about like there's this is the consensus of the Jumhur of the ulama, so he means the Jumhur of the Malikiyya. He doesn't mean the Jumhur of all the ulama. So I don't know of the ulama saying like Jumhur. It's adillah. We go back to the adillah. You know, it goes back to the dalil. So I mean, that's that. You know, if it's one or two sheikhs that say it's wajib based on the adillah, and the adillah sahih, and that's what it says, and other sheikhs say no, it's not wajib, but they don't have that adillah. We're going to follow it. We're going to follow the adillah. We're not going to follow just what people say. In this case, it is the opposite. You have the adillah, and then you also have the vast majority of ulama.
Is it permissible for a man to use a cup that says "Hello, beautiful," and for a woman to use one that says "Hello, handsome"?
That's the gayest question I've heard today, man. Go to the next question.
And if they used it, would it be considered imitating the opposite gender?
You need to get rid of. Well, what's the next question? Yeah, lost Hamza now, man. Right? Give me the phone.
Hello, beautiful. Oh,
that reminds me of the time that Sheikh Yahya was asking the questions to Sheikh Mubal about the intiqabat. You can find this audio online.
He was what?
He was asking questions he was the one reading the questions to Sheikh Mubal about the intiqabat in Yemen, about the elections that were going on in Yemen. So when he got to a question, he said that one guy, he stood in line for so long he had to go to the bathroom. So he didn't want to lose his place in line, so he just peed on himself in the line. And the Sheikh started laughing, like Sheikh Yahya started laughing so hard. Like at that time, because the brother Abu Zainab, he was there at this sitting, because this is way back. But he was one of the brothers that was in the sitting. And he said at that time we had never seen Sheikh Yahya laugh or smile or anything before. So that was like the first day he just started cracking up. He couldn't control himself. He's just like, you can find the audio online. Just type in Sheikh Mubil Asila Hawla al-Intikhabat or something. You'll hear Sheikh Yahya asking the question. He just starts cracking up laughing. He couldn't control himself. Even Sheikh Mubil was like, what? Yahya.
No, because I could just imagine like a grown man drinking out of a cup, and it says like, "Hello, beautiful," the heart emoji.
Nowadays, look, man, if I saw a 30-year-old dude drinking out of a rainbow bright cup nowadays, I would not be surprised. Like, not nowadays, because the lack of maturity with people.
They do.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I would not be surprised. So there's nothing surprises me in this day and age. Nothing.
You know, I think downstairs she's been influenced by this new. They say it's from ايش اسمه Ibn al-Qayyim. You know, قالوا له خالفت أقوال الشيخ. You know that poem? Have you heard of it?
I don't hear what.
It's like a very famous audio online, and it's like saying قالوا له خالفت أقوال الشيوخ ولم يبال بخلف الفرقاني. And I think downstairs now she's quoting it, but I think it's just audio from like Instagram reels. And then that's all she said was قالوا له by Shaykh al-Islam. Oh, will we go over this poem as well?
I gotta see it first. It depends on what poem you're talking about.
A woman drinking from Hey Handsome. Is it permissible to make dua for oneself or another by saying, "May Allah make it khair," instead of asking Allah to give them if it is khair?
May Allah make it khair. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. You have to be more specific about what you're talking about. I mean, if you want to make dua like that, just say, Allahumma atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Or qini adhaban nar if you're making dua for yourself.
Ustad, could you tell us some hadith scholars who view making hadiths hasan like Shaykh al-Albani, and the scholars who went with Shaykh Muqbil's view was Hakim or Ibn Hibban for view 1?
No, Hakim was very, he was way more mutasahil than Shaykh al-Albani. Shaykh al-Albani is not mutasahil. Shaykh al-Albani, he, and I would say this, like Shaykh Mubil rahimahullah, from what people have said that he used to say a lot, is that when he was asked about certain hukum, like that Shaykh al-Albani made that he didn't agree with, he said, لَعَلَّهُ اطَّلَعَ عَلَى كُتُبْنَا مَا اطَّلَعْنَا عَلَيْهَا. That's that, And it's probably that he read books, that he had access to books that we didn't have access to, that he saw something in certain books that he had access to that we didn't have. So, Shaykh Mubil rahimahullah is going to make the hukum on the hadith based on the resources available to him. Now, I'm not saying that he was limited in resources. The Sheikh's library was huge. I mean, like from here to that stage in the back, from here the male section and the female section, that's like the whole library. So I mean the library is huge. It's not like it wasn't small, so it's not like he was like lacking in resources. But Shaykh al-Albani had access to the largest Arabic library in the Muslim world. So that means that the resources that Shaykh al-Albani had, there's books that Shaykh al-Albani probably read that, none of us might ever see. That he had access to. So, I mean, if he makes certain, so that's why we say, anybody from amongst the ulama, nobody would, like, if you took, the Hasan of Sheikh al-Albani, even if Sheikh Mubil made it da'if, but you took the opinion of Sheikh al-Albani, who's going to say anything to you? In the end, I mean, so you'd have to go back and realize why, like, look at why he did it. And what he used to do with the hadith is people do it. All the ulama of hadith do it, But the difference is that certain people, they do the majmur turuq, as long as there's not shadid al-dhaf, There's like, these turuq, they have like shadid al-dhaf, and certain people say, well, no, we're not going to take all these turuq, and other people might say no, but there's so many different turuq. There's so many different paths of this, the different chains of narration, and that's why we're going to make a hasan based on that. So like I said, whatever you take, whatever you feel comfortable taking, that's what you take. You don't have the ability to do the research yourself, and most of the people in the world, 99.9% of the people in this world would die and never have the ability to research these hadiths. That's not an easy thing, just sit there and say, oh, it's easier to research fiqh, research things in the usul of fiqh, research things in the lugha, research things in tafsir, than it is to go through all the different books of hadith. And that's serious work. That's serious work. That's not an easy job. So, and that's why the muhaddithun, like, their level of knowledge is just, because the types of books and how many hours they have to spend in those books to come to the conclusions that they come to, it's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Someone said, can we please take the hadith in Bulugh al-Maram? And the questioner is right, because we only got like 10 minutes left.
Well, we're only going to take one hadith anyway. Well, the second hadith was like, going to need more focus on it. Alright, so we're in Bab al-Sadaq. Alright, so Sadaq here is another word for al-mahr. So الصداق ما تستحقه المرأة على زوجها في النكاح من مال ونحوه. So a sadaq is what a woman is deserving of from her husband in marriage, from money or whatever it is that they agreed upon. Alright, Amir al-Sanani, when he spoke about a sadaq, he said a sadaq he's talking about the language, right? He said مأخوذ الصداق مأخوذ من الصدق. So the word sadaq is taken from the word what? الصدق, which means truthfulness. Truthfulness. He said لإشعاره بصدق رغبة الزوج في الزوجة. So the whole point of it, to give the sadaq, is to show the truthfulness of the person and his desire to marry that woman. So this is why they call it sadaq. And there's 8 different words that they gathered together in a poem for all the different words for mahr. Because mahr is only one word, and that's why you see in the books of hadith, you don't see what? Bab al-mahr. You see different, So in the poem they said what? It's 8 different words. He said, ثمانية أسماء يجمعها قوله صداق ومهر نحلة وفريضة. I can't even read my own writing. هباء وأجر ثم عقر وعلائق. So صداق ومهر ونحلة وفريضة وحباء وأجر وعقر وعلائق. So all of those words all mean what? Mahr. So they're just different words that the people use for the word mahr, which is the dowry, the money that you give, or whatever it is that you give to the woman for her, to marry, to get married. Now, does it mean that, does it have to be something physical?
Mahr? The mahr?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we're going to see that in the hadith anyways.
No, because
So, but before we go into that issue, is it wajib or not wajib?
the mahr was mandatory.
All right, what's your dalil?
When the Prophet said,
Now, let's start with the Quran.
I don't know.
Wa'atu nisa, what? Wa'atu an-nisa sadaqatihinna nihla. All right, فانتظن لكم من شيء منه عن شيء منه what? نفسا فقلوه هنيئا مريئا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? وَآتُوا نِسَاءَ صَدَقَاتِهِنَّ what? نِحْلَةً. Alright, فريضة, فرض, any فريضة. Alright, this is wajib. Alright, so it says in the Quran that give them their sadaqatihinna. Here it's talking about what? The mahr. give them the sadaq, nihla, faridatan. It's wajib upon you to do so. فَأَنْ طَبْنَ لَكُمْ. And if she, from herself, like from the طِيبَةُ نَفْسِهَا, she says, you know what, like say that you agreed on like $5,000, for example. And she said, but she sees that you're really working hard and you're really struggling, but you're just having a hard time, but you're really serious. So she tells you, look, just give me $2,500.
Man, I wish I could find a girl
But
like
I'm
that.
saying, the problem is that most women would do that. Most women would do that. But the problem is the fathers that won't. The fathers are the ones that get involved and don't allow that to happen. And most of the girls, if it was really, really in their hands, the decisions, they don't really want a lot of money. They need it because of the people and what the people are going to say and all that. But most of especially the religious girls, the righteous girls, they just want a person who's going to be righteous, help her out with the deen, and just be there, and just be that person that she needs in her life.
Take her to a Muslim country to live there.
Stop using this for politics now.
No, not for politics.
But that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِنْ طَبْنَ لَكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنْهُ نَفْسًا فَكُلُوهُ حَرِيمًا. And then it's for you. If she says, okay, look, I only want half, just give me half of what we agreed upon. Khalas, take it, it's yours, it's for you. But the mahr itself, giving the woman the dowry, is wajib. It's wajib. Alright, you agree on it, and if she chooses even to say, like, I don't want anything, no, you have to agree on something. But then if she forgives you, says, no, just give me half or give me a little bit, but you have to have something. There has to be some type of dowry, some type of mahr. So now the hadith, and Anas radiallahu anhu, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه أعتق صفية وجعل عتقها صداقها متفق عليه. So here Anas radiallahu anhu, he said that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, that he freed Safiya. So Safiya was taken captive in the war, right? And then he freed her. وجعل عتقها صداقها. And he made him freeing her what? The mahr. The mahr. متفق عليه. And this is in Bukhari Muslim. Now, they differed as far as, here, if you look at the hadith, now, Anas, he clearly said, وَجَعَلَ إِتْقَهَا what? صَدَاقَهَا. صَدَاقَهَا. Khalas, that's clear, right? But then some of the ulama say, no, that's not what is implied, that's not what is understood. What is understood is that he paid to free her. So that him paying, but that's not in the hadith. That's not in the hadith. The hadith says that he freed her and khalas. So that goes to show, because they try to say that the hadith itself, because the hadith is evidence that you can give, like as mahr, something that is abstract and not concrete. You understand? Because money is what? Concrete. Clothing, gold, things like this, concrete. You can hold it. It's physical. But this is not. This is abstract. This is freedom. Like he gave her what? Her freedom, and that was her what? That was her mahr. So you got certain ulama that will try to refute that and say no, because he had to pay for her freedom, but they need evidence for that, because here it just said he freed her. And who's going to know better than Anas ibn Malik? Who's going to know better than him? The man that served the Prophet ﷺ for 10 years, and he knows the way that the Prophet speaks. He's, who was with him as much. I mean, we definitely can't sit here and pass a judgment going, saying, oh, well, this is what he meant, or this is what it is.
What about Aisha? Aisha.
What did she say?
Not a thing. She would have more knowledge though.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying, as far as this issue, they'd have to bring somebody with more knowledge that's gonna go against what Anna said. And they didn't, so khalas. What?
Is it permissible for the girl to agree on a mahr with the intention of forgiving just so the marriage can happen because the father wants something outrageous like 10K?
10K is not outrageous these days, but
It is outrageous.
these days, what are you talking about, man? You go to like Yemen, Saudi, you're spending like $30,000 in Saudi.
No, I mean like a young chap who's starting off in his life, trying to rack up money, and then 10K just.
Go to the gas station with the midget, He'll help you get that 10K real fast, right? Abdul Malik, I know you agree, right?
Yeah, but that money can earn the anger of Allah, though.
Yeah, I know. People don't know who the masjid is, right?
No, they don't. Yeah,
By the way, I just saw him coming to the masjid.
I saw him. Yeah, I
He
saw
was-
him 2 weeks.
He was
No, it's not
walking down the street, crossing the street, going to the gas station right when I was coming
Yeah,
to the masjid.
I was with Ibrahim in the car, and I said, "Look who it is."
We need to give him dawah, man. Bring him to the masjid, man.
Might bring a gun with him.
So what? You can bring a gun, you ain't gonna have to use it.
Oh no, man, that's disrespectful, bro.
But as far, hold on, going back to the question though, before you get into the disrespectful thing.
No, he said, "Do we need?" Well, wallahi, no, I don't appreciate that. Saying, "Do we need to make a GoFundMe for you, Hamza?" Wallahi,
He's just joking, man.
I
Don't stop being so sensitive. But as far as, I mean, the woman should take something, something. That's her haq, you know. And you know, whatever it is, but I mean, that's up to her. I mean, like, but the problem is, like I said, you're not dealing with the girl anymore. You're dealing like that. That might have been back in the days when people were more righteous and they were more concerned about the deen and the person's deen. But right now, you have to negotiate with the fathers. You know, in the family, it's not that the family, even the father might want to just like give you the daughter, but the customs. Now, I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about like Yemen. Saudi, they're different. Like Saudi is just a whole another. They just like everything's got to be expensive. But I mean, like Yemen, like for example, you might be getting married to a family that's upon the Sunnah. They're students of knowledge, but there's customs in that country, and those customs kind of dictate what the people end up doing. And it's not that she wants money or the father wants money, but because of the customs and the rest of the family, they're like, no, that's Abe. He's gotta give this, he's gotta give that, you know, because of the custom. So this is what you have to deal with in a lot of Muslim countries now. You know, you just have to be patient, you know. Anything else?
So, but the question still wasn't like answered.
I said, take something. I wouldn't forgive the whole mahr. Like, make the man give something, but it doesn't, I mean, make it easy on him, you know?
Okay.
Make it easy on him. But the mahr is wajib. She has to, you should give her something. She should not forgive everything. Say, no, I don't want anything. No, take something, but make it easy on him, you know?
Question says, they can give back after you agree or after they receive the mahr?
You're asking or what?
That's the question, yes, asking.
It's her money. It's her, whatever she wants to do with it, it's her money. If she wants to use it, take the money and spend it on her family, if she wants whatever. You know, I mean, it's up to her. It's hers, you know.
Abdul Malik said, Allahu Akbar, Imam.
What happened?
You just said, I think when you said about the midget.
The midget? Okay.
I think this is a nice question, especially for beginners. It says, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's not just a midget. I think it's a whole family.
The midget.
No, I mean, he's the midget, but there's more than one, so. Next time I see him, I'll be like, man, get in the car. We're going to the masjid. He was right there crossing in front of me. I was about to, hey, come on, you cool dude, man. Get in the car. Let's go to the masjid.
What are your thoughts on the tafsir of Sheikh Abdul Rahman ibn Nasir al-Sa'di to become grounded and build a solid foundation?
See, that's you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You want to get grounded in tafsir and build a solid foundation, you use tafsir, like you start with tafsir al-Kathir. Tafsir al-Sa'di is, and I'm not taking anything away from it, it's very beneficial. I have it at home. And I love to go back and just read like his advice and his nasa'ih and the way that he breaks things down. But he didn't go through all the different aqwal of the salaf. He didn't go and break things down and like that. So he was given the tafsir, like the people were reciting the ayat to him. And he was giving like basically whatever was in his mind, he just said it, they wrote it down. That's tafsir al-Sa'di. So it wasn't that he sat down and researched it and put it together for that purpose. So you see like the difference. If you want to become grounded in tafsir, you read Tafsir ibn Kathir and you read Adab al-Bayan. The Wal Bayan from Shanqiti rahimahullah, that will open your eyes up to. I was sitting there reading that today because there's like two or three issues. I was all over the place in Al Wal Bayan today. And that's what I told my sons when I was reading, and I was like, wallahi, when you read this book, you would never believe that this man died in the 1970s. You think that he died 800 years ago. There's no way when you read this book that you're like, this man died in the 1970s. That book is a masterpiece. That book deserves to be with the books of the Salaf. It deserves it. So anybody that can sit down with Adwa al-Bayan, Tafsir ibn Kathir, and then Tafsir ibn Jarir, that's how you get grounded in Tafsir, inshallah. And also Al-Itqan by Suyuti. And Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, which is a very, very highly beneficial book. I mean, there's no... but you also have other books. I mean, you got the... Ma'ani al-Quran, al-Farra, Zajjaj, and all the Ahl al-Lugha. You got the Mufradat al-Fadh al-Quran, al-Asbahani, which is a very, very important book, for like just to understand the words and the language of the Quran. So I mean, there's a lot. But I mean, Tafsir al-Sa'di is good for the beginner to get started. It's good to get you started, to get you like a basic understanding of what's going on in the Quran. It's very good. But when you're talking about getting deeply rooted and well-grounded, you have to get into those bigger books.
I think we should take these two questions right here. I heard that when the mahr is expensive, it takes from the barakah of the marriage. Is there any evidence for this? Allah. Someone says, where is better when it comes to environment for studying ilm, as well as level of knowledge being taught based on your travels, the circles of knowledge in Yemen or the ones in Saudi?
Oh, Yemen.
Yemen.
Not like, mashallah. You got some brothers in Saudi that are strong. But if we talk about on a countrywide, like, just looking at all the students of knowledge, Yemen, Blasha. Yemen, I have not seen the type of students. I mean, like I said, I've seen some students in Saudi that were very impressive. But the type of studying in Yemen, it's not even close, actually. Because in Yemen, you got to understand, we're going to go and sit in a lesson of Tafsir ibn Kathir. All right, at lunchtime, after Dhuhr, or Sahih al-Jami, back in those days, right? Because it was one day Tafsir ibn Kathir and one day Sahih al-Jami. And Mimma laysa fi sahihain the Shaykh Mufrad, rahimahullah. So we sit in that lesson. When the lesson's done, we go upstairs, and 10 people are going to eat plain rice. Well, it's not plain because it has a can of like a tomato sauce in it, and a little potato that's cut up in small pieces and distributed all amongst that's what we're eating. And we're going to eat that. And we're going to go home and probably get some rest, come back, pray Asr, and we're going to study Bukhari. Then we're going to go revise and do whatever it is or take lessons. And we're going to come back, we're going to pray Maghrib. And Maghrib is going to be nice and long. And especially in the summertime, you're going to have sweat dripping off your head onto the ground because it's so hot in that masjid. And then we're going to sit in the class of Sahih Muslim and whatever else the Sheikh is teaching at the time. Then we're going to pray Salatul Isha. Then we're going to go upstairs on top of the masjid. We're going to get a plate about this big. We're going to get one piece of bread with these watery beans and 10 people all sharing these beans, trying to hurry up and eat. We're not going to McDonald's. We're not going to the bake. We're not going to knowledge. We're not going to Romancia to get kepsa. So we were hungry. And the only thing that could keep our mind off the hunger and this type of situation that we were, just keeping busy with knowledge. Man, you can't compare that lifestyle to the lifestyle of just like sitting with the sheikh and then going to Starbucks and McDonald's. No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
In Yemen, would there be like female teachers to teach female students?
Yeah, they had females they had sisters in Damascus that were stronger than any one of us in America.
Someone says, how was Imam Muqbil?
I keep telling you, I don't know. I spoke about that before. I studied with Sheikh Yahya. I was there when Sheikh Yahya first took the chair. I was in the last days of Sheikh Muqbil, but he was sick, so I don't know. You have to talk to the brothers. All the information I have, all the brothers I know, all the brothers that sat with him for years, and that's where I got the information from. So And I was in them, so. No more important questions.
Oh, there is, but you
Take
said,
one more. So.
How come when we look into the tafsir of an ayah, we go to the likes of Ibn Abbas, Qatada, Ata, Ikrimah, Al-Dhahhak, Al-Hasan, said Sa'd ibn Jubayr, etc. May Allah be pleased with them all. Why do we go to their tafsir when it comes to
We
an
don't
ayah?
go there. Those are the ones that narrated the tafsir. I mean, we don't go to they don't have books, but these are the narrations. They're the ones that those are the people that narrated the strongest. You know, how many times are you going to sit there open tafsir and you're going to see Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, Qatada, that's or Ibn Mas'ud or Ali, so that's a reality. That's they were the strongest people in tafsir. They're the ones that narrated it, so that's what we got.
Yeah, I think one question.
Just like the same thing, you're going to sit there and say, like, why is it that every time that we open up a book of hadith, we keep seeing Abu Hurairah? Because I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, Abu Hurairah narrated the most hadith, so, that was his thing,
Someone said, questioner said, how accurate is the statement, the laws of America are close to the laws of Islam?
إنسان والذي يقول هذا حمار وأضل من الحمار.
Translated, what that means, that the person who said that, he's more mistrayed than a donkey. Oh, someone said, you're gonna like this. Someone said, should Muslims vote in November in the U.S. election due to Mas'ala and choosing lesser evil for the Muslims? Abdul Malik said, elections are great shirk.
If you want to die as a Muslim, then no. But if you don't care what state that you die in, go ahead and vote. Go ahead and vote. There's no such thing as a lesser of two evils. Wallahi, akhi, if you actually think that your vote matters, all these billionaires in this country, you think that they're going to put who runs the country in the hands of a bunch of McDonald's and supermarket employees and garbage men? You think they're stupid like that? You think that they've been running the country all these years the way they've been running it because they put who runs the country in the hands of a bunch of laymen? No, those billionaires, they're the ones making those decisions. All those people behind the scenes. All that stuff that you do with the voting is just like what do you call that? Like role-playing type stuff. It's fake. It's a joke. It's just to make you feel like, you got power and you chose and, please, man. You think these billionaires are really that stupid to let, the fate of who runs the country and who's going to affect their business and their money be put in the hands, the person who chooses as a Burger King and McDonald's employee? Come on, man, seriously. If you think that, wallahi, like I said, أضل من حمار أهله. Don't even fool yourself like that. We do not participate in any system with these kuffar at all. If you got to get a job, you got to work here, you got to do whatever, but that's the limit of what you do. But you sitting there freely participating in this type of system, like I said, if you don't care how you die and what state you die in, whether you die as a Muslim, whether you die as a hypocrite, whether you die as a kafir, go ahead and vote. Go ahead. But me, no. I hope to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, muwahid, on Tawheed. I don't know. We're not taking part in that, inshallah.
Someone said, is it permissible for a man to go paintballing because people get injuries, include cuts, welts, and bruising?
Do people get it, or is it just people get injured? Playing basketball, people get injured. I mean, so I don't know, what's the extent of the injury? So you're not going out to harm the person anyways, and you're supposed to have protective equipment. How many times, children get injured doing everything, riding a bicycle, they get injured. So, I mean, you got to be more specific about what the injuries are. If the injuries are caused by, intent, harmful intent, that's a whole different thing. But if it's just accidental and the person has protective equipment on,
So this question, they asked it earlier, but I kind of skipped over on accident. when getting married, do I have to make niqab a condition, or can I work with that after marriage?
No, you, whatever, look, you have to be clear about this is what I'm looking for. That the man has to be clear and the woman has to be clear. Don't sit there and leave that up to chance and, like, okay, maybe. No, you have to be very, very clear. This is what I want in a woman. And if you, and the man, I'm going to tell you, so the men, you need to be careful. Because you say, I want a woman to wear a niqab. And she says, okay, I'll try to do that. If she says, I'll try to do that, go find another wife. Because you're dealing with, you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems. If she says, I'll try, go find another woman. Because any woman that has true belief and true understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah, once she understands that this is an obligation upon her, she's not going to say, I'm going to try, she's going to do it. I'll do it. I'll start wearing it tomorrow. That's the type of woman you want to marry. But this, I'll try. And the same thing with the woman. Don't take that type of answer from a man. Like you get what was that question the other day about the man that only prays 3 times a day or something like that, and the woman prays 5 times a day. But he'll sit there and say, oh, no, I know that once I get married, I'll become a better person. Liar. If you believe that, then again, you deserve whatever happens to you is your own fault. If you want a man that prays 5 times a day, marry a man that prays 5 times a day. Don't marry a man that prays 3 times a day, hoping that he's going to pray 5 times a day when you marry him. It's not how this works. All the people, especially liars, they'll lie and they'll put up the act until they get comfortable. And once they get comfortable, and then they start coming out that sheep's clothing, and then they start to show their true self. And then what are you going to do? It's too late now. Maybe you already got pregnant. Maybe you already have it. You're expecting your first child already. And now he starts to act his true self. What are you going to do now? Or the same on the opposite side. She gets pregnant now, and now she starts to act her true self. Now she stops wearing the niqab. She stops doing this because she wasn't trying to do it. She was only doing it to make you happy, not for Allah. And you don't want people to do that stuff for you anyways. If she's not doing it for Allah and in obedience to Allah and His Messenger, then khalas. What do you want with her anyways? If she's going to do it for you, that's shirk. She's going to obey you, but she's not going to obey Allah and His Messenger. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, you've got to be very clear from the very get-go. This is what I want. And if she says, I'm not going to do this, then go find another woman. What are you going to sit there? What is this, Majnuna Layla? Are you going to sit there and cry at her doorstep every night and make poetry for her? Go find another woman. Well, come on, man. It's like, your life and your sanity is not worth it. And that goes the same for the women. The women, they have the husnul dhan with the biggest idiots. Wallahi, the biggest idiots. You see the women, wallahi, getting duped by the dumbest dudes. And that's why you see the worst questions that you ever get in marriage come from what?
Idiots.
No, from women. Because she married an idiot. But she knew he was an idiot when she got married. But she was hoping, well, I think he's going to change. Nah. Look, if the deen doesn't change him, you're not changing him. If fear of Allah, fear of, the fact that he's going to die and he's got to answer for his sins is not going to change him, you're not changing him. You can believe all that stuff that you want to, but you're just like sending yourself off to a headache and a divorce. So a nasty divorce too.
Do you want to take another question?
One more we go.
I'll let you read it. It says,
just read it.
The one in the purple, because it's a hadith question for you.
What hadith?
The one on the bottom. Purple emoji for the profile.
That was the same. Oh man, I gotta go back. I forgot all about that. Wallah. That hadith. That was the same hadith that they asked, and I said I'll go check it. But in those days, I kept getting sick. I was sick, my kids were sick, and those were like we kept missing all those days. So I forgot all about that. I'll check this tomorrow, inshallah. He said, where do I find a woman like this? You find her when you start making dua. And the biggest problem too is that you see with a lot of the people, you see here's like what I've seen. A woman's complaining that she got a bad husband, or the man's complaining that, man, I got married and she's a bad wife. So here's my first question to you: did you pray istikhara before you got married? Did you? What do you think that the majority of the people, not the majority, I would say all these people that are complaining, I wouldn't even say majority. I'd be surprised if one said that they actually did. But I'm saying, what do you think they're going to say?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No. Istikhara, what's that? Do I got to do that for that? I thought it's only for when I'm buying a car or something. You know, you're making the biggest decision of your life. You understand, like, this is a huge decision, Akhi. This is not small. A woman now is going to go put, you know what I mean? You're supposed to put your trust in Allah. But I'm saying she's now going to go based on what this guy tells her. She's going to leave her parents' house, go live with this guy, marry this guy, be alone with this guy, have children with this guy probably, if Allah writes that for them. And you don't pray istikhara for this. You don't think that this is a big enough decision that you have to go back and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you in your decision. So if you're not praying istikhara for these types of affairs, don't blame anybody but yourself. Whatever happens to you in your situation, you should take that back to Allah. We can't make these decisions. We don't know. You know what? Inna Allah, the hadith, right? Inna Allah la yanzuru ila ajsamikum, wala ila surikum, walakin yanzuru ila qulubikum wa a'malikum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't look at your bodies, He doesn't look at your images, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at your heart and your actions. Allah knows what's going on in the hearts of the people. So when you just know what's coming off the tongue of the person and what you see on the zahir, which could be an act. Most people, the biggest liars are the people that are trying to get married. Wallahi, the people that are trying to get married, the man and the woman are the biggest liars. They put up this biggest act of what they're not. This the sunnah that we talked about, the poem of Imam Shafi'i, specifically when people are trying to get married. Oh, they go up there, they're like the most righteous person in front of the father. And she's the most righteous girl. She's probably got 1,000 phone numbers from dudes up in her phone. She's like, I know, no, don't look at me, But, she's talking to dudes all night long. Please, man, the biggest liars. So the point is how you going to make that decision? And how you going to make the right decision based off of only what you see? Allah knows what's in the hearts of those people. Take your affairs back to Allah. If you're getting married and you're not praying al-istikhara, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Nobody. Because that's the most important thing. And the majority of the people will go to anybody that's having marital problems. I can't take it. She's driving me crazy or he's driving me crazy. Did you pray istikhara before you got married? Huh? You supposed to do that? Go ask the people and see. No, of course not. They don't take their affairs back to Allah. They think they can make the right decision. If you think that you can make the right decision, Allah's going to leave you to yourself and whatever happens, happens. So don't be surprised when you go through all this chaos.
That's it?
One more. I'm trying to get a question that doesn't make me all riled up so we can go peacefully.
No, because
all right, last one. Hello.
20 minutes past schedule. There's a question from a sister. Says, how does someone know how much sleep they really need without ruining their health if they can sleep forever?
What foods are good for you and how much sleep is good for you is how much energy you have.
6 hours.
If you wake up and you're feeling tired still, or you're tired throughout the day, you're either not getting enough sleep or you're not eating the right foods. So you need to figure that out.
Or you're sleeping too much. Or you're sleeping too much.
I mean, if you're sleeping, the main sleep that you need as a human being, the best sleep is 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And that's that. If you sleep from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that's 6 hours, right? And that's still a lot. But I'm saying, if you get that sleep right there from 10 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the early morning, right before Fajr, that should be sufficient if you're eating healthy. You might have to take a little nap during the day, 30 minutes or whatever, but that should be sufficient.
Oh, Mujahid's back.
Huh? Okay, Omi. Huh? إلى هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. My mother's tired.